West Virginia. I just really want to hit on your voting record and ask, why did you twice vote against the reimportation of FDA-approved drugs from Canada?
I did not. I voted for it.
Yes, you did.
Just recently, I voted with old Bernie.
2107 and 769.
No, I don't think so.
Yes,
We'll check. We'll check it out because I just voted. We just did it. We had a vote-a-rama.
You voted previously against it, sir.
I don't know. No, not unless it was buried in the bill. I approve it. If it's FDA approved, that means if the drugs were FDA approved. Now, if they were just opening up the market without FDA approval, I'd be against it. Well, if they're FDA approved, I'm for it, and I voted for it. Well, we'll find out. Give me those bills. Give them to me. Give me the copy of it. We're going to check it and get back with him. But if I messed up, I'm sorry. But I didn't know. That's one thing Bernie and I agree on.
Okay, let's look at the three pieces of legislation that was mentioned. The first that the resident mentioned was 2107. 2107 is a Senate amendment to a bill 3107, which eventually ended up becoming law. It's currently law. But the amendment was rejected, and that amendment was about importing drugs from Canada. There were a lot of safety measures in there. However, it did not specify FDA approved. So we're not going to focus on that right now. The second one that the resident mentioned was 769, and he was referring to a Senate amendment to H.R. 2112, which the bill passed. It's currently law, but the Senate, the amendment, which was about FDA-approved drugs from Canada, was rejected. So that did not become law. And the third thing that was mentioned, Senator Manchin said that he voted yes on something in January. He was referring to Senate Concurrent Resolution 3, specifically Senate Amendment 178. And we're going to look at a little bit more at that in just a minute. All right, here's some more information on H.R. 2112, specifically Senate Amendment 769. I found this information at congress.gov. The purpose of this amendment is to prohibit the Food and Drug Administration from preventing an individual not in the business of importing a prescription drug from importing an FDA-approved prescription drug from Canada. Then we look at actions and click on record number, and that takes us to the United States Senate site on this bill. It talks specifically about the amendment was rejected, what amendments to what bill, and then it talks again about the purpose, FDA approved. Now let's look how people voted. Senator Rockefeller from West Virginia at that time voted yes. Senator Sanders voted yes. How did Manchin vote? Nay.
Against it. Well, if they're FDA approved, I'm for it. And I voted for it.
Now, Senator Manchin said that he did vote for importing drugs from Canada, so I wanted to mention what that was about. In this past January 2017, there was a Senate Concurrent Resolution 3, and there was a Senate Amendment 178 to that, and it was to establish a deficit-neutral reserve fund relating to lower prescription drug prices for Americans by importing drugs from Canada. And yes, he did vote yes on that resolution. Now, the thing that you need to know, though, is that this is a resolution. Resolutions do not become bills. They set resolutions and then hopefully get back to them and put that resolution into a bill. But that was rejected. So, did Senator Manchin lie to this West Virginia resident? Well, you make up your own mind based on the information that's provided. But I think what the next question is what role, if any, would campaign contributions have on Senator Manchin's voting? And let's look at that a little bit. Well, this information is found at opensecrets.org, and you could look up Senator Joe Manchin here. We're going to look at the 2010 cycle. We look at the top 5 contributors, and the number 1 contributor is Mylan. They contributed about almost $70,000, and Mylan is a pharmaceutical company in West Virginia. And these are lobbyists that work for Mylan that made contributions directly to the senator's campaign. Let's look at 2012, because this is his first real election. The other one he was a special election to replace Senator Byrd, where he passed away. Here's lobbyists again who gave, directly donated. These are lobbyists representing Mylan. And side by side, the 2010 cycle, Mylan donated a little less than $70,000 to Manchin's campaign. And in the 2012 cycle, that number just shy of doubled. $127,500 was donated from Mylan to Senator Manchin's campaign. So just so you know, it's perfectly legal in America for corporations to make an enormous amount of donations to a campaign and then turn around and ask those politicians to introduce legislation or vote for or against legislation that will benefit that company's bottom line. That's legal in America. You'll have to make your own decision about whether you think those donations contributed to the way that Senator Manchin voted. And if you don't like the influence that money has on our political system, you could go to a website, represent.us, and learn more about how to stop that. I wanted to make this video because I thought there was a lot of information that was shared between that resident and Senator Manchin, and I wanted to look up the information, and once I looked it up, I wanted to share it with other people. And feel free to use the information however you want to make whatever decisions that you choose to make with that information. I didn't put this out there because I wanted people to be mean to Senator Manchin. I don't like that. I don't want people to use it to be mean. However, I do want people to use the information, and I showed how to search the information so that people can look at other things and learn how Senator Manchin has represented West Virginia over the past several years that he's been in Congress. And I think that West Virginians should think very seriously about Senator Manchin. He's up for re-election next year, and we need to think about how well has he represented West Virginia and how well has he represented corporations. If we feel that we have not been well represented, then we need to think very seriously about what we need to do to get better representation. Does that mean getting behind somebody else that is not attached to corporations in a primary? That's for each individual to decide. Thanks for watching the video. My name is Selena Vickers, and you can reach me at politicalrevolutionwv@gmail.com. I'd be particularly interested to hear from people who have been affected by not being able to afford their medications, or if they know somebody who has been in that situation. I'd also be very interested to hear from people's, especially their thoughts on the influence of money in our political system, and ideas on how to get better representation. Thank you for watching, and if you subscribe to this channel, I'll post more videos from time to time on things that I think that you might be interested in. Thank you.